Alright, so hey guys, it's me Felicia, and today we're back for yet again a new video. This week I wanted to share with you guys what I put in this journal, which is very important to me. So this notebook is actually what I call a brain dump, and as you can probably see from the title of the video, which is probably going to be something in the lines of the importance of writing everything down, here is where I do all of this. This was actually a notebook I was gifted for Christmas probably like 3 years ago, and it's only recently that I realized that first of all it was lined, and I love lined paper so much, and that it was a very convenient size. So I decided that I'd start using it by calling it my brain dump, and I'll explain to you what I use it for. So I'm going to break it down into two parts. So first of all, this is a journal. So what I mean by that is that it's a safe space. I know that whatever I write inside of this is only for my eyes. Nobody will go and take this notebook and look inside. Only I will, and so I can really put everything that's on my mind without any judgment or anything. I don't have to worry about it being well presented and nicely written. I just personally really enjoy using this one fountain pen that I have. This guy, it's a Lamy fountain pen because I just really enjoy how it writes and flows. But otherwise, it's not well presented at all. I don't care about it being unclear and messy and with mistakes. It's just, that's what it's for. I even had water that was put on this notebook by accident, and it's fine. Like, I'm not mad about it. It's just, you know, it lives with me. I use this because sometimes you are feeling off and there's something on your mind and you just need to vent. But the person that you usually do that to, so whether it's like a friend, your partner, a family member, anything, maybe they're not available or you don't particularly want to tell them. So what I do is write it out in here because he'll listen to me and he's always accessible, and so I can write out what's bothering me and try to reflect on it, really like journaling, just write down what's on your mind. And about the safe space that I mentioned, I get major anxiety from doing phone calls, like if it's too reserved, like for instance a restaurant when they were still open or something, or whether it's calling a school, calling anything. I get very anxious and feel really uncomfortable. So what I do is I open this into a new page, I take my trusty fountain pen, and I just doodle away and write down every single point that I want to tell them. So at what time exactly am I supposed to be there? Is it possible to do this, this, this? And so just knowing that it's written down in this, it's not like a scrap piece of paper that I feel like I'm wasting by just doodling and writing useless things in it, because this is the point. The point of this is to be useless, pretty much. It's just small notes that aren't linked together, and this is just my brain pretty much and how it works. And the second part of this is that I like calling this my ugly bullet journal. Let me explain. I've been a huge fan of bullet journaling for the past maybe 6 years. I discovered it because some extended family members started doing it, and I saw a bunch of Facebook pages and I joined them and I started having my own bullet journal. The thing about bullet journal is that there's a huge pressure surrounding the idea that it needs to be beautiful and well presented and very precise. The thing is, a bullet journal is very, very satisfying to have and to watch, but I have this option instead. I just jot down everything, whether it's to-do list for the day, to-do list for the week or the month. I can do a monthly spread where I can clearly see everything that I have to do. I can do notes about like life plans. You can also do lists of things you want to implement in your life. So for example, I have like this Twitch page, for example, where I wanted to pretty much like point out what I needed to do to make it better. So it was like doing the description, make an overlay, etc. I also did a list with curriculum if I were to go to being self-taught next year, where I gave myself all the things that I had to know and review, and with that I did a list of all the lessons that I found online with where to find it, who it is there good reviews, and the price. And so when I was very anxious and confused about what I was going to do next year, I did this entire page where it's my next year life plan. And in this is pretty much all the things that I want to do if I turns out to not go to university next year. So in this is like, I want to have some online classes to still have sort of feedback to what I learned, with focusing on social media, potentially doing a tattoo apprenticeship if that's what I feel like doing, doing commissions, going to art fairs and conventions if they reopen, updating my website, try pixel art, post on forums, do more art TikToks, etc. And then I also have thumbnails for ideas, like drawings that I have like in the middle of the night. Since I keep this on my bedside table, I can just take it out, put my light on, scribble what was my idea, and go back to sleep. Because I get this thing where before I fall asleep, I get a bunch of ideas and I need to write them down, or else I cannot sleep because, oh my god, but what if I forget, or what if this, or what if that? So I just write it down, and then it's like, it's written, tomorrow I'll be able to see it, and it will be all good. I decided to use this notebook and not any other because, as I said, it's lined and I love lined paper, and it's very small. This is probably like A5-ish, but the thing is, it fits perfectly in my coat pocket. So when I'm outside, I can just slide it in my coat and it's with me, and I'm like, okay, if I have anything to write down, it's there. Also, what I really enjoyed doing was writing down notes of videos or books or PDFs. So I read through the whole thing or watch the whole thing, and as I go, I write down the important thing that I'm like, oh, this is interesting, I should try it out, or I should keep that in mind. So I have a page for the 100 Famous Artists book that I skimmed through and that I did notes on their process that I thought would be interesting and I could try and implementing it in my work. Then I have notes on composition because I watched a bunch of videos about that. And it's just very convenient, and I cannot stress this enough that you need to have a place where you can put all your ideas in one space. And what's good with this is that it's traditional. I can make a calendar if I want, I can make a list, I can do everything. I also use Notion on my computer and on my phone, but the thing is, I usually write things down on this and then put it into Notion because, I don't know, there's this thing about writing on paper that I find very therapeutic, especially if it's like for venting. It weirdly helps me more, if that makes sense. So for me at least, writing down my life goals and my plans really helps me down and grounds me, where I can organize everything about it, think through it, and it makes it stress-free because I know that I already thought it out. Anyways, this video was a bit of a mess maybe? I don't really know. I just had this idea of sharing why I write down everything because it really helps me a lot, and I thought that I should share my experience with you guys. Comment down if you also have this notebook where you write down everything, if you have a journal, if you have a bullet journal, anything. And I hope that maybe it would help you, maybe if you decide to start a journal like this. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notifications so that you'll know when I'll be posting. Usually it's on Mondays. And you can also like this video if you like. And I also post on Instagram every single day, so go check this out, and I'm also on Twitch. That's pretty much all that I have to say. I've been rambling a lot already, and yeah, see you next time. Tschüss!